What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Game of the Week show. I'm Matt, that's Dan, and that's Ash.
Gents.
Hello.
Gentlemen, how are you?
We're good.
We're good, yeah.
We're good.
Yeah?
You?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, you're not, are you?
Well, could be worse. I'm a hand down today, or half a hand down. Not just today, I should probably clarify, for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So that's my excuse for why there was no Let's Play last Friday. I do apologise. We could have had one of these guys do it, but Dan had the very obvious excuse of I stole his capture card.
Yep, because your one broke.
Because mine broke. And Ash's excuse is he's only allowed to play one game now until he's beaten it, which is
Fallout 4.
how many hours in?
About 150.
So you finished it now then?
Not quite. I'm about
20%.
200 to 300 hours away from completion, I'd say. If it's ever going to complete, but yeah.
So yeah, you're going for the platinum then, yeah?
I would like to. It's definitely achievable.
You must be close, I'd say.
No.
You must be.
Imagine if it was a game that you could never actually finish. As in,
Well, no,
like, because it just keeps, like,
I know people
it's
that have
built
already
in and
platinumed
it just
the game.
keeps adding new stuff, like something. It just
It's not
auto-generates.
that, it's not that difficult to platinum. I mean, you've just got to get the quests done. If you can get the quests done, there's a couple of
Yeah.
other little trophies, but they're not that difficult to get. So
From what I've heard, it's a nice platinum. It rewards you for your work, but it's
Yeah.
not overly challenging.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know someone that's got it already, and he put in about 110 hours.
Yeah.
So they obviously played it a bit more efficiently than.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sort of quest, the next quest, the next quest. I do a bit of wandering around, and yeah, I waste a lot of time, to be honest. It's silly.
But anyway, we're not here. This is not a platinum show. Well,
Yeah.
we could come up with a trophy show, maybe one day. But the Game of the Week show is a weekly show that the three of us do, where we get together every Monday to talk about the latest video game news. We also talk about the game releases for that week before each picking our favourite game of the week. If you like video game news or any content, Let's Plays, when they go up, etc., you can check out our website, thegameinitiative.com. The links to that is down below. So, the big news this week came out right at the end, but I figured we should lead with it. The PlayStation 4 is getting backwards compatibility. Sort of.
Sort of.
In a report this week by an unnamed Sony rep, obviously didn't want to, probably a reason he didn't give his name out, but he's basically said that they are working on utilising PS2 emulation technology to bring PS2 games to the current generation. Apparently will allegedly run the games in a native HD resolution rather than just basic upscaling, so hopefully that means the games will look good or look better than they did. And we won't go into big specifics about what games we want to see. That will be in our party chat this week, which you can come and check out on Wednesday. But just as a general, what this means for the console. Is it a big deal? Because we've talked about it on Xbox One, obviously. People like to have it, but I think it's important that they matched Microsoft in some way, I think.
The difference is Microsoft did backwards compatibility for one generation. This is two.
No, it's one. PS2.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything with
One.
PS2.
That's one generation.
No, but they're not going back to the PS3 games.
Oh,
they're
no.
going back.
Oh, sorry.
consoles.
I thought you meant they're doing it for two generations.
No. PS4 are going back two generations
Yeah.
of backwards compatibility. Microsoft have gone back one generation. I think that is not as good as Microsoft.
So you don't like that it's older games.
I
But it's a bigger. The argument is it's a bigger library,
It
and
is.
they've already got
It
PlayStation Now for the PS3 games. That's the argument.
They do.
Plus, the PS3 isn't quite so old; it's still easily accessible to get. There's arguments.
the thing that surprises me. Yeah. Watch
to
that.
both sides.
Yeah. The thing that surprised me really about this is when like Sony were asked about backwards compatibility being brought on when Microsoft started doing it as in like a proper thing, not PlayStation Now. They turned around and said, basically, we don't want to do that. We want to be looking forwards, not jumping back to stuff that's already been. But
yeah,
they've obviously now basically had to completely backtrack on that.
no. This was in the works for a while. I mean, that talk about the native HD is something that came back like over a year ago. They were talking about it. The reason is you don't use. You always have a certain time of when you release your news, and you don't get your hand forced just because Microsoft is doing something. If you're preparing something, you don't just go, "Oh yeah, well we've got this thing ready anyway. We just weren't telling you about it." So that was just very much a press answer for it. You answer it, kind of no comment and stuff. But the reason why this has obviously come out is Star Wars Battlefront has been releasing with a couple of games which were PS2 classics, which appear obviously they will be coming, and I don't know. I think it's good.
It's great. Oh yeah, I mean I do think
this is the largest catalogue of games. Dan will attest to how big the catalogue is. When he thought it'd be a good idea to have a look through the catalogue, and then 10 minutes later of just constant scrolling, he was still at L. Slight exaggeration, but you get the point.
Yeah.
There's over 1,000 games for the PS2, so
yeah.
How it will exactly work? Will it work like the Xbox One, where you can just put a disc in and then it will read it and then download a digital version, or what? Will you be able to buy them? I don't know, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's good news. Any form of additional content, extra sort of bang for your buck. I'm great for that.
Yeah,
it's good.
I think it'll be good. And like I said, tune into our party chat on Wednesday, where we will be discussing some of the games that we look forward to maybe playing on our PS4s with that superior controller. Much superior controller.
Indeed.
Moving on, talking just of general video games, as we always do. We have a game here that we're not going to be able to play for a little bit longer, unfortunately. Deus Ex Mankind Divided has been delayed from February 23rd through to August 23rd. So it's a 6-month delay. In a statement they released, I haven't got the exact quote, but slightly paraphrasing, they said they're confident and proud of the game that they've created so far, but playing through the game, they've realised that they require more time in post-production for tuning, additional iterations and refinements of the game.
Yeah.
So do spit and polish.
Spit polish. 6 months of it, that's a lot of spit and polish.
You want it to be shiny.
But yeah, I mean, we were briefly talking about this off air. Even though 6 months might sound like a long time, I think if you can't do February, August is the one that makes the most sense.
That's
next month.
I think it's not necessarily that they need 6 months, it's that's a good window in order to release this game, looking at the calendar of big titles that are out in that time. You've got Uncharted 4, we've got No Man's Sky in June.
Yeah, and in between those you've got Quantum Break on the Xbox in April. So, and then May, quite often some big games will drop in May. We've already Mirror's Edge got pushed to May. That was what got pushed. And Battleborn has been pushed to May.
Yeah.
And then we've got Overwatch as well, which is Blizzard's console shooter that's coming to consoles. So there's a lot of big games coming. You want to be away from all of those. So
yeah, I think August is probably more of a strategic decision in terms of when to release.
That's it. If you're not the game that you can guarantee everyone will jump on board regardless of where you put it, then you try and find the best window for it.
Yeah.
And this is post E3 as well.
Yeah, so they can have one final push at E3 just to remind everyone about their game.
Yeah.
Before it comes out.
Yeah.
And it also gives us all plenty of time for when Human Revolution gets put on Xbox One via backwards compatibility sometime, hopefully next year. We'll be able to play that game in the build-up if you really want to. That's what I'm hoping for. I bought it up there for the 360, £3, but I don't want to play it on my 360. I want it on the Xbox One. So I'm sure.
Does that mean if it doesn't get put on the backwards compatibility list, you're not playing it?
Well,
because you've bought it to play it on the one.
I have bought it to play on the one, but I'm not going to not play it. I just would be much happier. So let's put it this way. If you don't release it as backwards compatibility, I'm going to be playing it very sadly. You don't want me to be sad, do you? I'm obviously talking to the publishers, which clearly watch our show. All the large publishers watch our show. Yeah. You want me to be happy when playing your game. Because if I'm happy playing it, I'm more likely to enjoy it and therefore more likely to buy Mankind Divided.
That's a good way of thinking.
Yeah. Anyway. We've got some games that are coming very, very soon, actually. We've got Quantic Dreams. Dreams Eye?
I think just Dreams.
Quantic Dream. Yeah. They are a French studio. They have 2 new games coming to PS4. They're not new games, they're HD remasters. Beyond Two Souls is coming up first. That game is coming this week, actually, November 24th. So you'll be able to get your hands on that in a couple of days. And then better game, or for 2. Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
That's coming March 1st, 2016.
Yeah, Heavy Rain was a massive title on PS3. Huge.
You played that, didn't you?
Not all of it, but briefly, yeah.
Play,
I really liked it, yeah.
So both of those are going to be, we've got the US price, $30, so I imagine 22, 23 quid, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 25.
I'll probably round it to 25.
It's
25 makes sense, I suppose, because a
Yeah.
$60 game is £50. So, probably 25.
Yeah. Digital only.
That disappoint you?
A little bit. I'm a big fan of having a game on my shelf.
We could buy the shelf one for the PS3 and then buy it digitally on PS4. Or play it via backwards. Oh no,
I think I've got Heavy Rain on PS3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got a lot of games.
Would you ever specifically, I know you're going off a bit of topic here, but I'll ask you both. If a game ever came out that was digital only, would you ever not buy it just because you want to ever hold out in the hope that it will ever come physical? Or would you just buy it if
Yeah, I held out first. Or in the hope or knowing that it's coming out.
Well, let's say they've said
Like
digital only.
Resident Evil that came out earlier this year with the 5 volumes or whatever.
The Revelations.
Yeah.
We always knew that disc was coming.
So I waited for the hard copy before playing it.
Yeah.
And the same could be said for
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. I'm waiting.
January 2016.
I'm happy
It has
to
been
wait.
announced now.
I'm happy to wait, so I'm waiting for that to come out on the hard copy.
But, okay, well, let me put this way then. Life is Strange, the physical copy is going to cost twice as much as the digital copy.
So,
You're going to buy it physical.
yeah.
Even though it's twice as much.
Yeah, I don't care.
Can I have the soundtrack disc? I'll give you a tenner for it.
No.
Oh, come on!
Alright, whatever. Come on, let's go on with the show.
It was just an interesting question of like...
Yeah.
It says digitally only though. Would you still buy this? Would you buy this for PS4 because you want to play it? Or would you just stick with your PS3 one because you've already got the physical one of it?
I probably would maybe get it. It just depends on how much I'd want to play it, really. And what I've got going on at the time. A lot of games do pass me by because I'm busy and other things. I mean, to be honest, at this rate, I'm still going to be playing Fallout 4 in 3 years' time anyway, so I don't really know.
Okay. Wow. Big game this week, Star Wars Battlefront. We will get to that in a little moment. But we did get announcements for their DLC this week, which we can go into. We talked about it, Dan, 3 weeks ago, when we announced it was going to be £40.
Yeah.
And we were not overly happy with its pricing.
Well, it wasn't so much the pricing, it was the pricing based on the fact that they hadn't even said what was in it.
Yeah. They're like,
So
give us £40.
If it was
Yeah.
justified pricing, we said that's fine, but if it's not, then it's way too much.
Okay, so is it justified now? Because we have 4 expansion packs that are going to be coming out, probably or presumably over the next year, maybe every couple of months. The first one's coming early 2016, but across those 4 expansion packs, we're going to be getting 20 items such as like weapons, vehicles, star cards. I have no idea what star cards are.
Haven't played the game yet, so
We have 4 additional heroes, villains. Those are like your big characters, like your Darth Vaders, Luke Skywalker, those sorts of people. 16 additional maps and 4 new game modes. So all of that for £40. Do you think that represents good value or not?
I don't know. I can't put it in. Not having played the game at all,
I know what you're
I
gonna
can't
say,
put it into context
Yeah.
based on what's already there.
But you always need a
it
comparison of the game itself, because this is paying for the game again, so you need to know that it's the equivalent of another game.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know whether that's good based on what's already in there. I mean, if there's only like 6 weapons at the moment kind of thing, then 20 weapons is great.
Yeah.
If there's like 100 weapons at the moment, then 20 is not worth it. I can't say it based on...
It's all relative based on the main game itself, I think, because it's the same price as the main game, and you just, are you getting...
because it's also like, it's the maps. It's how good are those 16 maps?
The 4 maps a time sound like a decent... Because I don't play a lot of multiplayer, I don't download the multiplayer DLC stuff like Call of Duty or anything like that. I don't know whether 4 maps in the map happy.
You break it down, £40 and 4 releases, that's a tenner. So
It's a
you're going to get 4 maps for a tenner, plus a couple of weapons.
So that's quite good. You'd say £2 a map, then maybe £1 for your character, £1 for the game mode, and then some free weapons on the side.
When you break it down, it's about right, I would say.
I think so.
It probably is, but I just...
But it comes down to how good these extra things are going to be.
Yeah.
Like, do the different characters make a big difference? I don't know, because we haven't played the game.
I'm assuming it depends on how much you get shot in the face in the first instance as to whether you can even beat them.
It's like, obviously, like, you know, they're going to have like Jedi powers and stuff, but how much can you use them? The maps, if they're great maps, then it's great, but if the maps in the game are already going to be better than all of these maps...
You got to think, like with so many games now, I mean, for anybody that plays on PlayStation, for example, you can go to the PlayStation Store and you can get your character a hat, and you can buy some fancy hat and it'll cost you 79p or something.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about what price you pay for these additional things,
yeah.
I mean, it's if you look at it from that point of view, it's not really that bad. I mean, considering you can pay 80 pence for a stupid hat with a feather, and you can effectively get 4 maps or a map for £2 and some other stuff. It's
noted to say almost certainly if you bought these packs individually, they'll probably be 15 quid a time. So you will be saving a fair bit by doing the pass.
I think just
Sorry, I was going to say you don't have to buy the pass straight away. Wait for all 4 packs to come out. Then if you want all 4 packs, then buy the season pass to save your money.
Yeah.
Don't buy the pass after the first set and then find out that the rest is all shit that you don't want.
Yeah. The other thing as well is, going back to what you said at the start of this, is effectively the DLC was offered at £40 or whatever, with no details released at all. And I think that's something we've spoken about this before. Is when you want to buy that DLC or the season pass effectively, and yet no details have been released. It's like, well, I could be just giving you money for a season pass, and when I pre-order my game, and you might just give me a gun.
Maybe they'll send you the physical copy of that hat with a feather in it.
Yeah.
There is no studio in the world that I would trust enough to hand over my money to without knowing what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I've never bought a season pass so far, and I never will until I know all of the information in the season pass, and then I will make my decision based on whether or not it's worth the money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if it's not complete specifics of detailing down exactly what you're getting, but at least generalise it enough that you know what's meant to be in there.
Yeah, like I don't need to necessarily know all 16 maps, but
it's a fair point.
It's interesting to see. We'll move on in a second, but like if this is going to create a big divide in the community now, because 16 extra maps is a lot of maps. Yeah. So all of a sudden, are you not going to be able to? Are you going to kind of get cut out of lobbies that are playing the DLC maps?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
because you do end up making. I mean, like Call of Duty, a lot of Call of Duty players just buy the map packs because it's just Call of Duty fans are big Call of Duty fans. It'll be interesting to see how big a divide you're going to get down this community. If there's even going to be a community in 6-9 months' time. We saw with like Titanfall how quickly that game kind of everyone just went back to playing Call of Duty because that's what they know.
Yeah. And
people will play this game. They'll play it for the rest of the year because everyone's in Star Wars mode. This year.
But what do we think about the fact that we've not long had Halo 5, and then of course we had Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and now we've got Star Wars Battlefront? I mean,
you also had Battlefield before that.
That's a lot of
multiplayer shooters.
That is,
and
in a month.
Don't forget, coming at the end of the month, we have Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes.
And in the build-up to that, because as Ash has just said, there are a lot of shooters this year, you might not know whether or not you're going to want to shell out another 50 quid for another shooter, but you'll have a chance to do a little try before you buy, because there's going to be an open beta starting on Wednesday. Runs through to Sunday, the 25th to the 29th of November. So 4 days, you'll be able to play with 14 different operatives, 3 different maps, both day and night, and 3 game modes: bomb, secure area, disarm bomb. I assume all fairly self-explanatory modes. If you're on the fence about this game, go give it a go. It's free. All it costs is your time. Obviously the usual kind of caveat: not a fair representation of the final product, because it is. But at this stage, you've got to think it's pretty much going to be.
It's going to be close, isn't it?
Close. The game's already gone gold, so I'd imagine this is probably the gold version, and then the feedback from this will then go into the day one patch.
Pretty much, I reckon.
So, because it's coming just over a week before the release.
But
it's just a stress test.
I've seen stuff of the closed beta and so on, and it looks pretty solid. where it is. I haven't seen anything that's like a glaring mistake or problem at this point.
No, I mean,
so it should be good.
Dan, you're probably the biggest fan out of the three of us of the old Rainbow Six games when they were not such multiplayer shooters. They had the elements, but it was all about you controlling your team. You could have it as a single player experience. And it's just, you might or might not remember. I remember the Ubisoft guy basically coming out and saying that this was going to be their biggest game and it was going to beat Far Cry 4 in terms of sales. Remember that?
Yeah.
Do you think, or do you still think that he's massively wrong? Because I didn't think it was going to. I remember saying at the time, there's no way it beats Far Cry 4. It might do well, but it won't beat Far Cry 4. And as Ash just pointed out, so many shooters, and all of these shooters are getting good reviews.
Yeah.
So why do you need a fourth one? Or maybe a third one if you have PlayStation only?
To think that it's gonna be, their topper as like their best game that they've had, because it's multiplayer based. Like they've said, there's not going to be a campaign. You can do the maps and so on in single player, and the AI will do their part and everything like that.
Yeah.
But there's no linear campaign part of it, which is kind of what the old games were built around.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's going to alienate a certain part.
It does hurt people.
Of their fan base.
I think companies are trying to focus on this multiplayer thing, thinking this is the future, but I think they still underestimate the importance.
The other thing with Siege as well is that it's a game that very much relies on communication amongst your team to actually work.
Yeah.
You can't lone wolf. It's not like Call of Duty where you jump into the lobby and you just run around and shoot what you want, and you don't need strategy.
It's a
you
tactical
need it
shooter.
in this. Now, when you jump into an international lobby, one guy doesn't have a mic and headphones, one guy speaks Spanish, one guy's French, kind of thing.
And then one guy's useless like me.
What game we playing?
One guy's blaring music. Kind of
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the experience you want.
Yeah, I know.
It'll work when you've got your friends doing it, but I don't see it necessarily working as well with.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. I've had that frustration before.
I know I feel for games, but at the same time, I don't have any sympathy when they refuse to put a campaign into it. Battlefront will survive because it's Star Wars.
Yes.
It has that license attached to it.
As soon as I found out that was the case with Rainbow Six, I instantly knew that I wasn't interested in playing.
That was the thing for me as well. I'm going to play this on the beta, because I want to try it out. But I can't see me, rushing to get it because it doesn't have that campaign.
Yeah. I'll give it a try. By try, I literally mean I will try. But
you'll give it an observe, will you?
Yeah.
I'll use my face to steer.
At least now, for the next 4 weeks, when I'm shit at video games, I have a proper excuse. I can't hold the control.
You know what we could do for our next few Let's Plays?
How bad is Matt?
No. It should be 2 players playing, half the controller each.
Oh no. No way.
That would be worse.
Does that mean I get to break both of your left hands then? Obviously you can't.
That would have to be worse.
Right, I don't mind having a bit of time off work. Get nuts.
I'm only allowed a day off for this. But anyway. So yeah, that's it on the news front this week. We'll move into the games now, swiftly. And as we did mention just before, Star Wars Battlefront, the big release.
Yeah.
We talked about it a fair bit there, I won't go into huge details, but obviously on all the platforms, been reviewing pretty well. Talks about it being maybe a little bit repetitive, not huge depth there, but we knew that. We knew it was multiplayer only. There are some kind of co-op things in there, but there's definitely no campaign. But still reviewing well. Remember, if you've got an Xbox One, you can play it for 10 hours for free, which is how I'm going to be playing the game. I don't really think I have any intentions of buying it because I think 10 hours is probably enough for me to experience it.
I would agree. Yeah, I was in the same probably.
Do you have EA access?
Well, no, I'm going to get it because I've been meaning to get it for ages and I've had no reason to really get it up until now because I've just...
This is still cheaper than buying the game, isn't it?
It is, exactly. Yeah.
And then there's lots of other games that you can get for free as well.
Yeah.
So.
No, I've been meaning to get EA access for a little while.
So that's obviously the big release this week. We've also got The Crew Wild Run, which is a DLC pack, traditionally, which we don't always discuss on the games, but they're effectively re-releasing The Crew with this. It enhances the visuals massively. You're getting new vehicles. a new game mode, dynamic weather. So it's a pretty big update.
It is.
I think standalone it costs £25, or you can buy now the Wild Run edition, which comes with the original game and everything as well. If you do already own the crew and don't want this, then you can get the visual upgrade for free, which is...
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, you can't be like, fuck you, day one adopters, if you don't want to pay £25.
The people that actually bought into our franchise on day one, and the middle finger's up to you.
But no, it's a good way to celebrate almost the anniversary of their game.
No, it's scary.
There's not the same level of races that there were last year. We've had Forza Motorsport, but that's a different game. Last year they had Horizon, Drive Club.
Yeah.
So there's not really any new races this winter, apart from Need for Speed, I suppose.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting about Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Because there was no real marketing behind it, which is weird. There's another game you can play for 10 hours if you get EA access.
True.
Good game. I'm enjoying that. So. Yeah, like that as well. That's why I didn't come first in those races last night. Then we've got Deadpool, which I had no idea that there was a game coming out for Deadpool. Did either of you know?
No, I didn't. I mean, we were discussing, I can't remember what day the movie's coming out, but I've got a feeling it's now-ish or soon.
It must be soon. I mean, that would make sense why the game's coming out.
I'm sure it's soon.
Do you think they're ever going to give up on these sorts of things?
No.
Like releasing games to tie in with movies?
No.
Not for Marvel.
But if they buy another Spider-Man, I'm not buying the game.
While Marvel's big, they're going to be dumping both. So there'll be the movies and there'll be the games that tie in some shape or form, even if it's literally just the same franchise.
But they just can't make good games.
No, they can't.
Yeah, but
the last
they make good money. That's the problem.
Terrible. Then you've got people like Ash who's buying both of them anyway. Wasn't Amazing Spider-Man 2 like the first game, but worse?
Yes, basically. Like, the first game was great. I actually really loved the first game.
It's good.
I platinumed it, I loved it, played lots of hours. The second one was just terrible. I mean, it was glitchy, it was just a car wreck.
But it was literally the same game, it was the same engine, but
just like a different story or whatever. It was the same city, the same
very lazy
mechanics, everything was the same. It was horrible.
So we've got that Deadpool. I haven't played the game, but I've already got a feeling that the trailer might be the best thing about it, because the trailer was funny.
Yeah, the trailer's
at
great.
Times.
It's
a bit cringy as
well.
A bit
cringy, I would say it's a little bit cringy as well.
I love cringy. It's right up my street.
We know.
Then we've got Game of Thrones episode 6. This is the finale episode of the Telltale series. I haven't played it yet.
Are they planning a season 2? Do we know?
I would be surprised if there isn't one. Because Game of Thrones, similar to you talking about Marvel being a big deal, Game of Thrones is a huge deal.
Yeah, of course.
You've played the first episode. What have you made of it so far? As a new person to the Telltale series, what did you think of it?
It was alright, and it's like I enjoyed the story out of it, but the problem I found with it, and I think when I told you this before and you'd mentioned, was the fact that even though I was trying to steer things a certain way, because certain parts of that storyline are set in stone, no matter what you do, it's happening. It's just like
there were certain characters that no matter how nice you are to them, they will still die. And so, there are certain things that you can change, but then there are cornerstones that you can't change.
I mean, I get that, because if you have literally every possibility going, then trying to write that game and then animate that game and then install that game will take
you
forever.
end up having to make 7 stories, sort of thing, don't you?
Yeah, because every path you take off leads to another 2 or 3.
It's not just that, though, is it? You've got to think of...
But then if they branch out on 6 episodes
over 6 episodes. Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's not just...
It becomes too complicated. And I get that. But it's that little bit of frustration of if I knew he was going to die anyway, kind of thing, well then maybe I would have
done it a different
way.
way.
Over at the start. Not so much that, but as in I would have approached whoever in a different way. I don't want to say anything because I know you haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But you're kind of, now that all 6 are here, you're
these are the kind of games I probably can play at the moment, so I might actually
press one button.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
But no, I would like personally to see Telltale take some time away to improve their engine. I don't think. I mean, I don't know how Game of Thrones runs, but I do know how. What was it?
Do you mean in terms of like the lip syncing with like?
No, not necessarily that, but it's just like there's a lot of stuttering. There's like frame drops and stuff. Like on the Vita, I tried to play Walking Dead Season 1 on the Vita, and it's literally unplayable. Because like, if it's unplayable on this hardware, don't release it.
Yeah.
Like it's better on the new gen, but on the old gen, I played the Wolf. I tried to play Wolf Monks on PS3, and it didn't work that well.
I can't say I noticed any
But maybe
problems,
yeah.
but then again, it was only a 2-hour experience, so it wasn't like enough to really set in.
And it's not great visuals either, is it? It's
it's
there, but
all the background is blurry.
It goes. The thing is, the time spent on that game goes into the sort of the quality of, I suppose, the conversation, the story.
Well, that's just it.
It doesn't go into the visuals, does it?
No, you're focusing on the foreground, which is the characters, and
yeah.
If you've got the subtitles on, then you're focusing on that as well, because you're kind of listening and reading at the same time, and it's like the actual surroundings aren't the most key thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not, and you guys know that I'm definitely not a graphics whore by any stretch of the imagination. But they've had that same engine now through pretty much their entire games, and they've made a lot of money. So it'd just be nice to see them just take a brief step back from churning out new titles every year, and just take a year to improve the engine so that everything is a better experience.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Then we've got Night Squad on the Xbox One. This is the free game at this moment in time for Games with Gold on the Xbox One. So make sure you go and do that. It's a kind of 1 to 8 player multiplayer battle arena experience in night suits. We talked about it briefly before, so we won't go into huge information. But yeah, it's free. Go and check it out. It looks like a fun little couch co-op party game. We don't get many of them. So also as a quick side note, Dungeon Siege 3 is on the 360, and make sure you download that as well, because remember, going forward, all of the 360 games are now backwards compatible with the Xbox One. So you're basically getting 4 games for your Xbox One every month now. Yeah. Then we have Fat City for the Xbox One. That came out 1 or 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago for the PS4. This one was... What was this one?
This was the one that basically looked like Pac-Man.
Pac-Man with a
bank
euro.
Yes, that was it. You're robbing banks and stuff, but yeah. Not literally Pac-Man.
No,
it's
just the mechanics.
The grid system.
The grid system. And the cops are chasing you around, it's like the ghost would.
And then when you get into a car, you can turn around and run them over.
Basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can or not, I was just using the same analogy.
I don't know.
When you collect the things in Pac-Man,
Yeah.
the hunter becomes the hunted. And then we've got Noobler for the PS4, which is a puzzle adventure game. Looks pretty weird. The premise seems to be that you are a character that goes into a painting, like kind of in like a gallery, and you go into this painting, and there's a weird world, and there's puzzles to solve. And
it's basically, I think the premise was like, haven't you ever like been in a museum and pretty much wanted to be able to jump into what's on exhibition and then explore that world? And
what would it be like to kind of go into the alternate worlds and stuff? So that's there. Looks, I haven't really researched enough to tell, but it's another 2.5D platformer. There's far too many of them.
There's a lot.
It's not one I will be playing, but one I most definitely will be playing this week for the Vita. Pixel Hunter, voted best mobile game in 2014 for iOS and Android, and you can see why, because you are this fantastic little mustache man with a Nerf gun shooting anything in your sight, basically. Doesn't look like anything I've seen before. Love the originality.
It does not in any shape or form come close to infringing on any sort of particularly copyrighted images.
No. The style and layout of the game and even the enemies are completely unique to anything we've seen.
Yeah. The only thing I would have missed, or that I missed, was that he didn't have a voice of any sort. I don't know. I mean, do you know how he might have sounded? Maybe Ash, if he could speak.
Italian, maybe.
Maybe Italian.
Maybe.
What do you reckon his profession was?
I don't know. He's sort of.
He's definitely a tradesman.
Yeah.
So like he was wearing the overalls. And...
Yeah. He had a bit of a moustache as well, which is a bit weird. I don't know, maybe like a carpenter or something.
Yeah.
Plumber.
Definitely didn't look like a plumber.
No.
Anyway, so that's your Vita game for this week. For you handhold lovers. Handhold lovers.
Held.
And that's it on the game front. So as you can see, really everyone staying away from Battlefront for the most part in terms of new games. Probably smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Star Wars is quite a big deal.
Yes, it's just a little bit of a juggernaut when it comes to its marketing.
It is.
So,
it's scary, isn't it?
What is everyone's... It's weird now, thinking about it now. We're now at the stage where nearly all of the big games have dropped now.
Nearly.
We've got a few more to come.
Yeah.
Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what is your pick for the week?
I think for me, as much as I'm probably going to play a little bit of Star Wars, I think the game for me, I didn't pick up The Crew the first time round, but I like what they've done. I like there's a bit more content and that they've basically got the graphics up better. So I might actually be picking up The Crew Wild Run.
Interesting. No.
Because I think I'm actually going to jump on and finish the rest of the series, I'm going with Game of Thrones.
He's converted to Telltale. That's good.
I've always said I like good story in my games.
Yep. That's why I always thought that the Telltale games, you give them a bad rep, but they do stories well. So, and yeah, obviously Game of Thrones as well. That helps that universe because it's the universe that you're interested in.
I'm waiting for the Game of Thrones RPG game though. At some point, that's got to drop. Almost like
how would you have it? How would you have it though? Like
I don't know.
Third person.
I don't know. As in, essentially, like think The Witcher 3-esque style game set in Game of Thrones. Would you Mordor? Like, surely that has got to happen.
Would you be like would you be someone from a house known in the universe, or would you be like a new house trying to establish yourself?
I have no idea how it would work. I'm just expecting it to happen.
I think you're right. I think at some point it will happen. We saw with Lord of the Rings, there were a lot of Lord of the Rings games.
I would be surprised if it doesn't as well at some point. But I think this was a good place to start. If we saw one, I would like it to maybe kind of have its own independent story as well. I mean, obviously, The Witcher comes off, from novels as well. Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to pick The Crew Wild Run as well. I like the improvements they've made, and if you do pick it up, then I might have to pick it up as well. But I like my racing games on Xbox One. Would you buy it on Xbox One? I
could, I suppose.
Would you want to buy it?
I was waiting. I thought about 5 minutes ago, we've gone to like 40 minutes and there's not had an Xbox One joke yet.
I was actually going to say, because then we could all get it on PS4, but I like your thinking better. You better buy an Xbox One for it. That was a genuine thing of like, I always buy my game, I have platforms for my type of games, but in this one where there's a multiplayer element, I would lean towards PS4 if you guys were getting it on PS4.
I think from any multiplayer game I prefer to play on PS4.
Okay. We shall see. But yeah, I like what they've done.
Yes.
And that's it for this week. So thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Let us know what you think in the comments down below about the PS2 emulation news. Is it a big deal for Sony, or do you think it's something that's kind of just going to get brushed under the rug a little bit because, as Ash said, it is quite old games? Are you happy with the DLC content for Battlefront? Are you enjoying it? And what do you think of The Crew as well? Because I was never reviewed that great. Didn't have much talk about it, but looks like they're doing some good things. So if you have played The Crew, do let us know. Maybe you can help convince us make a purchase. Another purchase that we obviously so desperately need in this time of massive shortage of video games.
Sorry.
But for now, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Cheers, guys.
And everyone out there, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.